Welcome back everyone. Today is the fourth lecture on real numbers. So today we will be discussing a bit about irrational numbers and real and rational numbers. So before discussing about them, first let us see what are rational numbers. This is a very important lecture. Mainly we will discuss about some problems which are very important from CBSE class 10 point of view. So what are rational numbers? A number which can be expressed in the form P by Q, where P and Q are integers and Q not equals 0. And therefore what will be irrational numbers? Before saying this, so the examples will be anything: 2 by 1, 9 by 6, 25 by 27, anything, 5, 6. These all are rationals. And talking about irrationals, the numbers which cannot be, it's quite obvious. If real number is that, then obviously cannot be expressed in the form of P by Q, where P and Q are integers and Q not equals to 0, which cannot be expressed. The examples here include like root 2, root 3, like pi, root 2 by root 3, many examples are there. So now the main important thing about this lecture is we will be discussing some problem and how to solve them, their techniques, because they are in NCERT and they are quite important from exam point of view. So first, before getting to these problems, we have to remember a result, a theorem. The proof is not that much important from student point of view, but see it once. The main thing is you just need to remember the result. Now let P be a prime number if P divides a square, then P also divides a. What it says is that let P be a prime number. So let the prime number be 2. If 2 divides a square, let a square be 9. So sorry, 9 cannot be because 2. Let a square be 16. Then it says if a number P, that is 2, which is prime, divides a square, let a square be 16, that is here 2 divides 16, then 2 also divides a, that is root of 16, 4. So this is a quite obvious result. Actually in mathematics, there is a huge effort in proving this quite simple, which may be seem quite obvious. These results, some of these results may even take years to prove, because the more simple it is, the more difficult it is to prove them. So in number theory, there are still many unsolved problems. So leave it apart. So why this is important? Let I will prove this also. So let A be a number which constitutes of prime numbers like P1 into P2 into P3 dot 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 Pn. But P in general, that is P's, Pi. So here P1 P2 can be same, different, does not matter. So then A square will be P1 into P2 into P3 dot 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 Pn. into P1 into P2 dot 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 Pn. Now it says that P divides A square. So P is a prime factor which divides A square. So P must be anything. Now from the factors of P must be anything from the factors of A square. Now the factors of A square are P1, P2, P3 up to Pn, and again P1, P2, P3 up to Pn. So only the factors of P can be P1, P2, P3. So P is something. So P belongs to P1, P2, Pn. So P is something which is inside, which is any one of P1, P2 up to Pn. I think this is quite clear. And A is P1 into P2 into P3 up to Pn. So if P is anything between P1 to Pn, then P is also a factor of A, because P is anything from P1 to Pn. So maybe P3 is P. So A contains P. Therefore, P also divides A. That is, P is a factor of A. So this has been proved. This is not that much important to you because it will not come in examination. So you just remember this thing. If P divides A square, then P also divides A. That is, if a number that is a prime number divides A square, A can be anything. So P also divides A. Now the most important thing in this chapter is there are some important questions which we will discuss, and after solving this I think you will be able to solve all the problems regarding to this topic in NCERT and other textbooks. So first thing is proof that root 3 is irrational. Now here in today's problems, the technique, there is a special technique called, which we will use to solve all this, is proof by contradiction. What this means is that first we will assume something and then we will come to a conclusion which does not satisfy our assumed result. Basically, if I assume that root 3 is rational, now we finally come to a result which contradicts that root 3 is rational. Some sort of result came out which says that root 3 cannot be rational, which contradicts our previous assumption that root 3 was rational. Then obviously our assumption was incorrect and root 3 is irrational. This is called proof by contradiction. We have to contradict something and just tell that our assumption was incorrect and we have to proceed accordingly. So first, the technique to solve this type of problems is, there is a specific technique. So let root 3 is rational. Therefore, root 3 equals to A by B, where A and B are integers. Now one thing is that it can be anything. Let root 3 is a rational number and it is in the form A by B, where A and B can be anything. Now finally, on cancelling the factors of A and B and getting them to the simplest ratio, we find root 3 equals to P by Q, where P by Q is the simplest ratio, that is of the format maybe 2 by 1 or 5 by 7, where it cannot be it can no more be factorized. There is no common factors between the numerator and denominator. So if we proceed now, or Q root 3, let us write P and Q are mutually prime here, that is they don't have a common factor left, mutually prime. So Q root 3 equals P. Now squaring both sides, 3Q square equals to P square. Now here 3Q square is P square. So 3 is a factor of P square, that is P square is basically written as P square equals to 3 into Q square, where Q is an integer and 3 is also an integer. So 3 into Q square, therefore 3 is a factor of P square and 3 is also prime. Now the previous theorem which we proved that if here sorry, the screen got locked, sorry for the inconvenience. Now again, so if again, wait a minute. Now it's okay. So finally we can say that p square equals to 3 into q square. So 3 is a factor of p square. Now from the previous theorem we can say if 3 is a factor of p square, then 3 also a factor of p. So therefore we can write p as 3c maybe. 3 is a factor of p, then p can be 3c, 3 times c. We can write this thing. I hope this is clear. Now substituting this value of p in this equation, we get 3q square equals to 9c square, or q square equals to 3c square. Now here again we have to see this thing. Here q square is 3c square, therefore q square equals to 3 into c square. So 3 is a factor of q square, therefore 3 is also a factor of q. Now here first we have come to a conclusion. This is what is actually contradictions, proved by contradiction. So here we have come to a conclusion that 3 is a factor of p and 3 is also a factor of q. Now initially we have assumed that p by q, where I have assumed p by q equals to root 3, that p by q, p and q are mutually prime. Now if they are mutually prime, then there must be no common factor between p and q. But here we are coming to a conclusion where 3 is a factor of q and 3 is also a factor of p. Therefore p and q, they have a common factor 3. Therefore our initial assumption that p and q are mutually prime is incorrect, which indirectly tells that our assumption that root 3 was is irrational. This assumption becomes wrong. This is wrong, our initial assumption. So finally we can say our initial assumption was wrong, therefore root 3 is rational. I hope this is clear. The screen has got a bit clumsy because today my screen is not working properly. These electronic devices cause a great trouble. I myself, being an electronic engineer, am frustrated with this device. I have not yet been pass out, but I am not a pass out. I am still studying engineering, but this electronic gadget today is just very irritating today. My screen is getting locked. Now it's okay, fine. So that's why my screen got clumsy, because I could not just make my screen up. Now it's working finally. So this is a type of problem. I hope this is clear. Sorry for the haphazard way. But in the solutions, I will give you the exact way how to write the answers, everything. You just see the concepts here in my lectures. In the solution videos of NCERT exercises, I will discuss them in great detail, how to just write them. You will see from those videos how to just write in exams. Now, I hope this is clear, this process. You should go through this 2-3 times, then you will get a clear understanding of this thing. Now in examination the question will come, prove that root 5 is irrational. Now the same thing will be there, just the numbers will get changed. Here we in case of screen is getting locked. Sorry for the inconvenience today, but I hope I can fix it by tomorrow. So here 3 has here finally the common factor has become 3 when you prove root 5 is irrational. Here in place of 3 there will come 5. This is the difference, otherwise everything is same. So I hope this is clear. I have tried my best to deliver this thing. Now coming to the next one, this is another type of problem which you will face. These are techniques. You have to know the techniques. After knowing the techniques, you can do everything. The next one is prove that prove that 5 minus root 3 is irrational. Prove it. Now, as I said earlier, we have to apply the contradiction. So first let us assume 5 minus root 3 is rational. So therefore 5 minus root 3 is a by b, where a comma b are mutually primes. So therefore if we cross multiply 5b minus root 3b equals to, let's not cross multiply, we just do it like this: 5 minus a by b equals to root 3, or 5b minus a by b. One thing I forgot to mention also in the previous, you just check it, b not equals 0 is root 3. So now root 3, this is irrational, and a, b, these are mutually primes. Let us consider their integers. If a and b, if a is an integer, b is integer, then 5b minus a is a combination of integers, so it is an integer, and b is also an integer. And integer by integer cannot be irrational. Like 2 by 9, this cannot be irrational, this is a rational number. So basically, in this equation, the left hand side is rational and the right hand side is irrational, which is a clear contradiction of, I mean this is not a contradiction, but we have come to a point which violates the laws of mathematics. In an equation, once both the sides can be rational or both the sides can be irrational. It cannot be that one side is rational and other side is irrational. So this is occurring only because our initial assumption that 5 minus root 3 is rational. If we have not assumed that one, then this contradiction would not have come. So therefore, our initial assumption that 5 minus root 3 is rational is wrong. Therefore, 5 minus root 3 is irrational. Now similar, another type of problem here. Hopefully my screen is working now. So the next is, for example, if you have to prove 3 root 2 is irrational. Prove it. So here also the technique is by contradiction. Let 3 root 2 is rational. Therefore 3 root 2 is a by b, where a comma b are mutually prime and b not equals 0. So here root 2, if we take the 3 other side, a by 3b. Now a is an integer, b is an integer. Prime means it is an integer. A is an integer, b is an integer, 3b also integer. So this part is integer by integer, this is rational. And this root 2, this is irrational. This again violates mathematics. Therefore, our initial assumption was wrong, and thus 3 root 2 is irrational. I hope this is clear. And these 3 type of problems, after these 3 type of problems, I think you can do all the other of NCERT, most probably, and related exercises of other books. I will make a video on recommended books. So stay happy, stay tuned, and the last lecture is just coming. After that I will post the solution videos. The solution initially will not be videos. I will post some PDF links which will be quite helpful. Later I will post, most probably. It's not post, actually I will upload. Post is actually a term correct for Facebook. So I will upload the videos on YouTube. So okay, bye. I hope you got what I tried to convey. Thank you.